with your host, Dr. Leon Finney.
Hey, this is Leon Finney on this Friday morning, almost Friday afternoon. A little chilly out there, isn't it? I know that I was up early preparing for my little daily constitution, and guess what? I had to almost put my long skivvies on. But anyway, my friends, it's always good to be with you. This is Leon Finney, your host on Another Perspective. We are broadcasting live in our studio at 4108 South King Drive. We are also streaming live right now. Now, what does that mean? It means that you can view us now on Facebook. Go to UBM Facebook, go to UBM YouTube, all of the platforms we are on. And guess what? I also managed to tweet this morning, so check Leon Finney on Twitter. But anyhow, my friends, let's look at what's going on in this town and around the world today. Principally, we're dealing with more and more talk, and some of the talk is trash talk as it relates to the upcoming primary election and general election for the office of governor. And Democrat candidates for governor focus on women and women's issues. What about that? We're going to get into that more as we go forth. That's Democrats in the state of Illinois. In case you're in Bangladesh, we're in Illinois, right? So we're talking about the governor's race in the state of Illinois. And then, of course, the public defender here in the city of Chicago and county of Cook defends budget as the politicians eye the repeal of the pop tax. Now, here in Chicago and in Cook County, we had a major controversy around the pop tax, and we're going to talk about more of that. Then, of course, we are talking about not increasing and building so much in many of our minority communities, or African-American communities and Latino communities. But guess what? 42% more buildings were torn down in these communities. And more often than not, these are black communities, black neighborhoods, and brown neighborhoods, Hispanic. Not so much Asian. We're going to talk more about that. Hey, and how about the Bulls? The Chicago Bulls beat the Hawks for the first win of the season, 91-86. I'm not sure I'm going to spend a whole lot of time talking about that because I just know everybody already has read the papers, listened to the radio. Y'all know what that's all about. But you go Bulls. We're with you 100%. You are I think, a good segue as we leave the baseball season where the Cubs took it as far as they could take it, and now we're dealing with football and as well as basketball. But anyway, we're going to talk more about that. And then we've got the Staple Singers. I remember the Staple Singers from way, way back. And we're going to get into talking about the Staple Singers there. They are a Chicago tradition. And Pop Staples, I can remember him with his baritone voice, almost bass voice, singing back in the day. But anyway, we're here live on UBM. And as we talk, we want to make sure that you stay with us. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to start jumping right into these subjects. Stay with us.
One of the most important decisions Chicago teens will ever make just got a whole lot easier. Go.cps.edu is a new online platform that will stream the high school applications for Chicago Public Schools. If you are a rising 8th grader or know of any, tell them and their families to visit go.cps.edu to start learning about CPS high schools and subscribe to receive important announcements about the opening of the application system in August. This message is brought to you by Urban Broadcast Media.
We're back here live. This is Leon Finney, your host on Another Perspective. And guess what? We want to deal a bit with these budget cuts that now have to be made in respect and or deference to the repeal of the pop tax, which will happen in December, which means that as of December, there will be no more pop tax or no more soda pop tax, no more sweetened drink tax. It'll be over, guess what? But when it's over, my friends, it also leaves a huge budget gap in the county budget. That's what you got to focus on, the county budget. And the pop tax or soda pop tax in the very first beginning was designed to help the Cook County meet all of its expenses in order to function at a level that we hope is efficient. But guess what? That amount of money that had to be covered, and what does that mean? There was a budget shortfall between the revenue that is proposed to be taken in by the county through taxes and what the county proposes to spend. A $200 million gap. Where's that money going to come from? With the pop tax or the soda pop tax gone, what comes in? That's the question. And so at the end of the day, what has to come in now are budget cuts. And the public defender's office of Cook County is headed by a woman by the name of Amy Campanelli. And she says that in order for her to help reduce that gap, she's prepared to eliminate positions that she would normally have in her staff. That means the public defender would have fewer people working for her. She estimates that she will be able to save $5 million. But what's the cost of saving the $5 million? Well, the cost is she would have fewer public defenders. That means that she'll be able to handle fewer lawsuits. That means that she'll be able to defend fewer people who've been charged with crimes, maybe wrongfully. It means that, as she says, her office is going to be impaired and it will not be as efficient as it was for 2018 as it has been in this year and prior years. But guess what, my friends? This is not the only place that we're going to see that will have to make some budget cuts. You'll have to make budget cuts in the hospital or the health providing system. What does that mean? That means that there's likely to be public health clinics closed. We've got Providence Hospital here in the black community. It could stand to be closed. We've got public health clinics all over Cook County. Look for many of them to suffer staff reductions. Then, of course, you've got the state's attorney's office. That's Kim Fox. You got to worry about that office. How many positions is she going to lose? Then you've got the Forest Preserves, and Forest Preserves is right out here, right just south of Beverly, west of Beverly, black community, upscale black community. Guess what? That's likely to see fewer and fewer operations in the Forest Preserves because it's a huge recreation place. So I think that these taxes and these cuts are going to negatively impact the African American community and the brown community and communities that have need for the county services. Stay tuned. This is Leon Finney. I'm going to take a short break, and when I come back, we're going to move on.
One of the most important decisions Chicago teens will ever make just got a whole lot easier. Go.cps.edu is a new online platform that will stream the high school applications for Chicago public schools. If you are a rising 8th grader or know of any, tell them and their families to visit go.cps.edu to start learning about CPS high schools and subscribe to receive important announcements about the opening of the application system in August. This message is brought to you by Urban Broadcast Media.
Hey, this is Leon Finney. I'm back, y'all, and this is my final wrap-up here. And I've got, my engineer tells me I got 2 minutes, and so what can I say in the next 2 minutes that is going to be profound, that is going to sound like I got some sense? Well, I think I'm going to go to Pop Staples. And you've got the gospel legend, the Mavis Staples, and her one-time boyfriend, also a famous singer, will officially open the new Wintrust Arena Friday, a building that could cast a shadow on the Staples childhood home in Bronzeville, meaning that their home here was in Bronzeville when all those kids that were growing up. They lived right here in Bronzeville. And as the front woman of the Staples Singers, Mavis and his family band became perhaps the most influential gospel act in American history, as well as a civil rights icon. They were involved in everything when I was much younger, and they were part of what I would call a culture that captured our music, not in the blues or the jazz, but captured the gospel music, out of which jazz and blues does flow. But anyway, they are here, and they're opening up at 506 East. No, I'm sorry. They're opening up at the new center at the Wynn Trust Center on, I believe that is 22nd Street, right? On 22nd Street, right there at Indiana. At Indiana, you'll see the staple singers. They'll be there this Friday. That's today. I urge all of you to go out and listen to the great staple singers as they bring us back down memory lane and help us to appreciate what we are and who we are through the singing of gospel music. Hey, this is Leon Finney. I'm happy to have been with you, and you can run and tell that.
One of the most important decisions Chicago teens will ever make just got a whole lot easier. Go.cps.edu is a new online platform that will stream the high school applications for Chicago Public Schools. If you are a rising 8th grader or know of any, tell them and their families to visit go.cps.edu to start learning about CPS high schools and subscribe to receive important announcements about the opening of the application system in August. This message is brought to you by Urban Broadcast Media.